Alright, so this is one of my most requested videos that I have never made, and it's about time I explain how to invest like the 1%, and it's not about buying Bitcoin, it's not about ChatGPT or buying Pokemon cards or NFTs. Instead, I'm going to show you all about the HSA. Now I know it doesn't sound exciting, but I want to show you a magic trick visual analogy of how it'll make you money automatically. So for example, we'll produce a magic coin. Now this is a Chinese currency, it's real money, and it's Chinese because if you ask anyone off the street what an HSA is, they'd look at you like you asked them something in Chinese. Now you also need a pair of tweezers because that's the medical part of the reference for all you finance nerds. Now what's cool about an HSA is that anytime you want, you can go inside of your account and pull a lot of money out. Like magic. What's also nice about the HSA is that it's considered to be triple tax advantaged, which means money that you put into this account can be used to lower your overall taxable income, which will leave you with even more money. See what I did there? I pulled a coin out of another coin. And money that you invest inside of this account will also even grow tax-free, which leaves you with even more money. But wait, there's more, because HSAs also have what are called 0% payroll taxes, which leaves you with even more money to pull out of your account. Now, HSAs also have something called 0% federal income taxes, which leaves you with even more money. And the last thing is, it has 0% in capital gains and dividends taxes, which looks something like that. Look at all of these tax-free thingies. It was all a ruse for you to get to smash the like button. Misdirection. Now, an HSA is at least 17% more valuable than your 401k, and you probably already have a 401k, and you should definitely prioritize having an HSA because in 2024, the government is increasing the limits for contribution, which means less money in the government's pocket and more money in your pocket. So let me show you all about the HSA. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andrei Jikh. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the crazy magic trick intro. Also, if I sound a little under the weather, it's because I am, because getting sick in the summertime is like a ritual I have to go through every single year. So what's crazy about the HSA is that only 1 in 5 people under the age of 30 even have an HSA. Not a lot of people even know what an HSA is, but in order to understand why they're so powerful, I'm gonna assume you know everything there is to know about the 401k. Like the fact that it's a retirement account, it's tax advantaged, usually from your job, that you put your money into, usually into some kind of mutual fund that grows over time, that allows you to have more money in retirement and allows you to lower your taxable income. So for example, if you make $50,000 a year, but you contribute $10,000 in a year, you're technically only paying taxes on $40,000 of income. That's a traditional 401k. Now there's also the less common Roth 401k, which is the exact same thing, but in reverse. So money you invest inside of that account, you don't get to use to lower your taxable income, but whatever the account grows into in the end when you go to sell, you don't have to pay any taxes on. Now an HSA is sort of like if both of those fused together Dragon Ball Z style to create its own thing that has more advantages, but a couple of limitations. But the point is, I'm gonna assume you knew all of that nerdy stuff about the 401k, but here's why an HSA is even better. Every dollar you invest inside an HSA is actually worth at least $1.17. And credit to Blake at Pathway to Fi, who breaks this down really eloquently. First, an HSA will save you 7.65% right off the bat, and that's because of payroll taxes, if you make less than $160,200 per year. And that's because everyone has to pay payroll taxes. Now, the ugly truth is that if you're self-employed like I am, you're gonna have to pay double that, because right now your employer is covering the other half of 7.65% in payroll taxes. And because I'm self-employed, I would immediately save myself 15.3%. Second, you'll also save at least another 10% in federal income taxes. Now, all of us have to pay federal income taxes, and that includes money that you get from your 401k. But what's messed up is that unlike a taxable brokerage account, like for example I have here with Robinhood, when I sell the stocks inside of this account, I don't have to pay any federal income taxes as long as I've held on to them for more than a year. And that's because I'll be playing by a different set of tax rules called the capital gains rates, which are lower than ordinary income. This is why people say rich people don't pay their fair share in taxes, because most of the wealthy people don't make their income from their job. They make money from selling off their assets. And as long as they've held on to them for more than a year, they pay lower tax rates through capital gains rates.
But a 401k, or really any other tax-deferred or tax-advantaged retirement account, has to be counted as traditional or ordinary income, which means you have to pay those federal income taxes. But an HSA is excluded from federal income taxes. So having an HSA will save you at least another 10%. Why at least 10%? Because 10% is the smallest tax bracket we have. If you make more than $11,000 per year, you'll save more than that. If you expect to make anywhere between $44,000 to $95,000 in retirement, for example, sort of like the middle point, you'll save at least another 22% in federal income taxes. Now, all of that is just assuming that taxes will stay the same, but most people, I think, reasonably assume that taxes will go up over the long term in the future. Now, what's interesting is that the third advantage of an HSA is that any kind of interest or dividends you receive inside of this account will also be 100% tax-free. And the fourth advantage is that there's no state income taxes. Now, I live in Nevada, so we already have 0%, but outside of a few key states, you would normally also have to pay state income taxes, but not with an HSA. So technically, it's quadruple tax advantaged. Like all retirement accounts, though, there are a couple limitations you should know about. And the first one is how much money you can invest inside of it, and the HSA has the lowest limit of them all because the government's like, we don't want the peasants to get the upper hand over the bourgeoisie. In 2023, the limit is only $3,850 for an individual and about double that for family. If you're older than 55, though, you can contribute an additional $1,000 per year and catch-up contributions. But in 2024, the government is increasing the contribution limit, so please make this your New Year's resolution and at least get yourself an HSA account, because the new limit will be $4,150 or $8,300 for family. Now, another huge limitation of the HSA, and stick with me on this one if you can, is that you can only use it to pay for medical expenses. Now, the good thing is that includes a lot of things, but you can't use it to pay for a wedding in Mykonos to impress your friends on Instagram, which I realize sounds like a huge red flag, and a lot of the younger side of my audience is like, this video is a waste of time. I want to buy stuff, not use it to pay for medical and dental. But here's the thing. Healthcare in the US is completely broken. According to a 2022 BLS statistic, medical expenses are the third highest expense for people ages 65 and older, right next to transportation and housing. Now, if you see yourself being that old person that owns their car and owns their house at that point, then your medical expenses will be the most expensive thing you pay for, so please don't ignore it unless you're past the age of 65. After 65, you can use the money inside the HSA to pay for whatever you want, except you will lose a tax benefit because it will be taxed as ordinary income. So worst case scenario, basically your HSA becomes a traditional IRA or a traditional 401k. Now, warning, if you ignore this medical limit before age 65, you will be penalized twice for it. First, you'll have to pay those income taxes and then a 20% penalty on top of that. So for example, let's say you have an emergency and you need $1,000 from your HSA. You withdraw it, and let's say you're in the 25% income tax bracket. Well, that $1,000 is now effectively $750. But another 20% penalty on top of that makes it worth $600. So from $1,000 down to $600 is a huge, huge loss. So only try to use it for medical expenses, which you can do at any age without penalty. So now that you know what an HSA is and how it works, I want to show you how to get one and how to use it. Now, most employers will offer some sort of an HSA qualified health plan. Even if you're self-employed, you can still get an HSA. But to do that, you'll have to enroll in something called an HDHP, or a high deductible health plan. And I know that sounds complicated, but it's actually really easy. So when you look for a healthcare plan that's HSA qualified, you'll find that they have lower monthly payments. That's called the premium. Now that is a good thing, but the downside is that they'll have higher deductibles, meaning you'll have to pay more money out of pocket before your insurance kicks in. So that's the downside. But once you're happy with a healthcare plan, then you can shop around for an HSA account, and you can just Google, you can find them everywhere. I may or may not have some in the description below this video for links to check out, but whatever you do, look for ones that have zero fees, and most of them should be FDIC insured. And that just means the cash that you keep inside of this HSA account should be protected for up to $250,000. And the rest is pretty easy. You put money inside of this account, and then you pick a mutual fund to invest into, and then hopefully watch your money grow over time. Now, if you're wondering, Andrei, I have a 401k, a Roth IRA, a couple brokerage accounts, and now you're telling me to get an HSA, which one should I prioritize? I know it gets crazy overwhelming, so here's how you can think about it in terms of what you should prioritize first. According to financial experts and advisors, which I'm not, if you couldn't tell by now, they say to first start with the 401k employer match because that's 100% free money that you're getting, so get that first and then don't contribute after that. Next, try to max out your HSA, and if you've done that, which should be pretty easy because it doesn't have a high ceiling, go to your Roth IRA and max it out. Now, if you're a baller and you still have money to invest after the Roth IRA, then go back to the 401k and max it out. So that is the order of operations in the world of finance. Sort of like in math, remember PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction? Well, this is sort of like a separate video on this whole subject alone, but this is a really good starting point. Now, once you have your HSA account set up, here's how to get the most out of it so you can invest it like the 1%. First, check to see if your employer offers any HSA contribution matches. Just ask your HR department, and if they do, take advantage of it and make sure that you calculate the total amount that both you and your employer are contributing, because you never want to go above that yearly limit, otherwise the government's like, mine? Second, pay less in taxes. Whatever you contribute inside of your HSA, you can use to subtract from your total yearly income and pay taxes on that instead of your full yearly income. 3, start investing your contributions. Don't just leave the cash sitting there. Personally, I would pick a mutual fund that closely tracks the S&P 500 index. And 4, your HSA does not have what's called an RMD, or a required minimum distribution, which means you are not going to be forced to sell something at any age. And you can also even pick a beneficiary and pass on your HSA to one of your family members if you didn't use it, or if you still have money left over when you're not around. Now, there's obviously a lot about the HSA that I didn't cover here in terms of shopping around for a healthcare plan that suits you, setting up an HSA account, putting money in there, picking a fund to invest in, reimbursing yourself, and all the details that you can either Google or leave a comment down below and I'll try my best to figure it out, or you can always ask your financial advisor. But I hope this was entertaining and you enjoyed it. If it was, my name is Andrei Jikh. If it wasn't, my name is Graham Stephan. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to grab your free stocks. Links are down below, and then go track them automatically with a spreadsheet link down below in my Patreon. Love you. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to see you back here on Monday and Friday, sometimes a Wednesday. See you soon. Bye-bye.